One Zambia, One Nation. Welcome to Zanis News. My name is Alice Banda and our sign language interpreter is Joas Shikombwe. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Government to unveil expansion of Barrick mine. EU commits 20 million euros to Zambia. Zambia seeks Israeli labor agreements. And government commits to eradicating of rabies diseases. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema is tomorrow, October 2nd, expected in Kalumbila district in Northwestern Province for the groundbreaking ceremony of the expansion of the super pit at Barrick Lumwana mine. Northwestern Province Minister Robert Lihefo disclosed that the president will also interact with traditional leaders within the province. Here is a report from Wamba Weyeke.
President Hakainde Hichilema is tomorrow expected in Kalumbila district in Northwestern Province for the groundbreaking ceremony of the expansion of Barrick Lumwana mine super pit. President Hichilema is also expected to meet traditional leaders in the province. Northwestern Province Minister Robert Lihefo confirmed this development to Zanis in an interview in Solwezi district.
The president is coming tomorrow to commission the super pit at Lumwana Barrick mine in Kalumbila district.
Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Permanent Secretary Hapenga Kabeta highlighted the significance of the expansion of the super pit.
Just making significant expansions, and that is Barrick Lumwana. There is a super pit that is being developed, and with that super pit, when it's fully developed, two things are likely to happen, Honorable Minister. One, there will be at least employment of around 3,000 people that will come in form of direct and indirect labor. And the second thing is that they will be in a position to increase their current production of copper. Currently, they are at 120. They are currently 120,000 metric tons, and with that investment, they will increase that to 240,000 metric tons.
Lumwana Mining Company Country Manager Anton Malenga is elated with the groundbreaking ceremony of the super pit.
I'm pleased to announce that we'll be welcoming His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Ms. Hakainde Hichilema, for the groundbreaking ceremony to officially launch the super pit expansion. This project is a milestone for the development of the copper industry in Zambia, with a spend at $2 billion. We expect to start construction at the end of the year and to ramp up to 2028, where we expect to double the production of Lumwana.
Wamba Weyeke, reporting for Zanis in Kalumbila District, Northwestern Province.
Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema has described the late Chief Kanyesha of the Swakalala as a visionary leader who believed that traditional leaders should not depend on handouts but hard work. President Hichilema says the traditional leader believed that chiefs should lead by example, as exhibited in agriculture production, as he was one of the biggest farmers in his area. Speaking at the funeral of the late Kanyesha, the 8th at his palace in Luano, President Hichilema also observed that the late traditional leader was a jovial man who was realistic in his ways. More in this report.
President Hakainde Hichilema was this morning among thousands who gathered to mourn the late Chief Kanyesha of the Swakalala people in Wano district. The head of state has described the late Kanyesha as a visionary leader.
The chief had a vision, a clear vision of what he thought a chief should be, that a chief should not wait for handouts from whoever. The chief must produce and lead by example. This is the chief we're burying today. When he asked for help, he asked for help in the direction of a productive help, not consumption help, not to eat for today. He asked for support on how to do things better, and he would do those things himself. Very big difference.
President Hichilema has also cautioned the Kanyesha royal establishment to select the rightful heir to the throne and avoid taking issues to the courts.
If we respect Chief Kanyesha, we conduct ourselves during the funeral. If we respect Chief Kanyesha, we conduct ourselves after the funeral as we deliberate who takes over. If we respect Chief Kanyesha, we have to avoid courts. I have said many times, the courts, the judges don't know the family tree of Chief Kanyesha. Then you take them papers to say, decide who becomes the chief. They will decide on the wrong one because they don't understand. Give yourself a successor who is the right one.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, has also stressed the matter.
The Article 165 of our Constitution bestowed power on the clansmen to apply the culture and the customs that apply to each individual clan in order to find the successor of the next chief. And so because of that, please give the Constitution back its respect for giving you that charge.
And Central Province Minister Mwabashike Nkulukusa says succession disputes are rife in the region.
Because truly Central Province is facing challenges of successions whenever such an occurrence has happened. I truly hope that this chiefdom will lead a very good example that you can do your succession in harmony and peace without fighting.
Lusemfwa Hydropower and Sitco Company had a good relationship with the late chief.
A development-oriented chief. That true progress is built on the foundation of mutual respect and shared goals.
The traditional leadership in Central Province has appreciated government support towards the funeral.
Our prayer is for us to mourn the late in peace and maintain the spirit of oneness as a family. We do not become pleased to hear of disputes or wrangles in chiefdoms.
Senior Chief Mboroma has identified Chief Chikopili as the caretaker for the chiefdom.
On this point of time, I want to announce the caretaker for the chiefdom of Kanyesha. His Royal Highness Chief Chikopili will become the caretaker for the Kanyesha chiefdom.
Tlopekile Nkunika for Zanis in Luano.
And the European Union has committed to support the Zambian national budget with an initial disbursement of 20 million euros to the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. This is out of the 60 million package that will be transferred to the National Treasury between 2024 and 2026. Runia Sakala, who covered the signing ceremony, reports that Minister of Finance, Tumbeko Msokotwane, has described the development as a clear vote of confidence in government's reform journey and commitment to fiscal responsibility and transparency.
It is barely a week ago since Minister of Finance and National Planning, Tumbeko Msokotwane, presented the national budget to Parliament, and funds have already started pouring in from the international community. The European Union has committed its support to the Zambian national budget at a signing ceremony with an initial disbursement of 20 million euros.
A decade ago, the European Union had to withdraw its budget support from Zambia. However, in 2021, with the appointment of the new cabinet, we have witnessed a renewed commitment to ambitious reforms towards strengthening governance and guiding Zambia back onto economic recovery and social development. And I'm very excited to be here today to celebrate the resumption of our budget support to Zambia with the first disbursement that we have just signed of 20 million euros, which translates into 600 million kwacha.
The EU is optimistic that the funds will help the country address some of its prevailing challenges.
We hope that this budget support, with this first disbursement of 600 million kwacha, can provide some breathing space and can help the government to mitigate the impact of the economic crisis on the most vulnerable Zambians. And this additional breathing space will allow the government to continue implementing the critical reforms that it has engaged and these reforms will enhance resilience and prevent future economic and social setbacks.
Dr. Msokotwani is pleased with the restored donor confidence.
Today, you've come back to what was there before to provide budget support after satisfying yourself that the conditions that led to the withdrawal of budget support do not exist anymore. We are most grateful for this gesture.
He has since assured of prudent utilization.
We'll focus on the most important challenges to ensure that no one goes hungry, to ensure that we'll provide water for our people. We'll do so in a manner that satisfies the criteria or the standards for avoidance of corruption, abuse of public funds. So that will continue.
Runia Sakala, Zanis, Lusaka.
Also in the news, Minister of Labour and Social Security, Brenda Tambatamba, says government is interested in securing bilateral labour migration agreement, BLMAS, that will benefit the Israeli as well as the Zambian people. Ms. Tambatamba notes that Zambia's surplus labour from the health and education sectors can be utilized in the state of Israel. The minister was speaking when the Israeli state ambassador to Zambia, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, Ofra Fari, paid a courtesy call on her at her office. The minister explained that this is why there is need for both countries to sign, noting that the agreement is beneficial to both peoples.
The Teaching Council of Zambia had registered 201,810 teachers, out of which only 71,350 are still unemployed. Your Excellency, the surplus labor could be utilized in respective sectors in our country, hence the need for both countries to sign agreements that would be beneficial for both countries if this should be. These agreements would lead to the development of partnerships and cooperation with our counterpart Ministry of Labour, with our counterpart in the Ministry of Labour of the Republic of Israel, through your embassy and your able leadership. The partnership is intended, if it was to shape up, it is intended to enhancing human resource capacities in the ministry in a bid to reinforce the law on labour and protection of migrant workers in partnership with the private sector and to ensure their compliance as well.
More in the news. Minister of Education Permanent Secretary Technical Services Joe Kamoko says government is committed to advancing the education sector in the country. In an exclusive interview with Zanis, the Permanent Secretary notes that government is resolute to growing the education sector as realized from the 2025 budget, where 150 million kwacha has been set aside to implement the new national curriculum. Mr. Kamoko disclosed that the new curriculum for primary and ECE will be tested in the January 2025 school year. He appreciated that government always sets aside a huge chunk for education in the country, which has prompted Zambians to go back to school through government's free education policy. Later, he added that the increment of the 2025 budget, where the CDF has been increased from 30.6 million kwacha to 36.1 million kwacha, will continue to be a game changer in the education sector, especially in rural areas.
We, the foot soldiers, are willing to run around and get things done. But the most exciting is that Zambians are responding by going to school in huge numbers. And I personally feel privileged to be PS at a time when there's that change. Even the coming of the new curriculum, as you've already said, that already shows you that there's walking the talk. We're trialing very shortly. We're doing the materials in the background. We're we've done the syllabus. As you know, the curriculum is approved, validated and signed by the presidency. So we mean business. Come January, we'll be testing primary and ECE while rolling out the other materials for the subsequent phases. We put up thousands of classroom blocks, which we've never done in a long time. Okay? Our population between 2010 and now increased by 10 million. And just that should tell you that the infrastructure should have improved twice, whatever is there. So for me, CDF has been a big game changer. And all I can encourage fellow citizens is that those who have the privilege to discharge it, they should not take long. They should avail this opportunity, start those projects, ensure they complete on time. There are so many exciting structures in the system that are there right now that are almost nearing completion. So we're grateful for the support and the finances that continue coming through CDF.
We take our first break. Stay tuned for more stories.
How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on Zanis TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, Channel 6 DTT, and Channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back. In agriculture news, government has flagged off the redeeming and distribution of farming inputs under the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP in Lusaka Province for 2024-2025 farming season. Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Robert Kamalata, who flagged off the exercise, urged farmers to take advantage of the early distribution of farming inputs. More in the following report.
On 2nd September 2024, government commenced the nationwide distribution of farming inputs to farmers for the 2024-2025 farming season. In its quest to distribute farming inputs before the onset of the rains, government, through Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Robert Kamalata, flagged off the exercise in Lusaka Province. Mr. Kamalata used the occasion to warn unscrupulous agro-dealers in the habit of duping farmers that they will be visited by the law.
I wish to sound a warning to those agro-dealers who are in a habit of cheating farmers by swiping for inputs that are not in stock, that when found wanting, government will immediately remove them from participating and will blacklist from participating in any future government programs.
For the agro-dealers, I would like to encourage you to begin redeeming for the inputs. As Lusaka District, we are looking forward to finalize the distribution by 31st October.
The Lusaka Province Agricultural Coordinator said government is working hard to ensure that farmers receive inputs before the onset of the rains.
We are really trying our level best in ensuring that our farmers can have the inputs before the onset of the rains. By close of business again yesterday, only 220 farmers had redeemed their inputs.
And the farmer representative, Mumba Mlolo, thanked President Hakainde Hichilema for making early distribution of inputs a reality.
This will change the mindset of your farmers, resulting into the early preparation of our fields because they have no reason to be worried of.
Mtalakani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
In our business segment, Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana has commended the Zambia Industrial Bank, ZICB, for restoring client confidence following the possession of Investrust Bank in July this year. Mr. Kawana stated that ZICB has continued to demonstrate stability because no client has lost money since the bank entered into a purchase and assumption P&A transaction with the Bank of Zambia. Speaking when ZICB Chief Executive Officer Ngenda Nyambe called on his office, Mr. Kawana noted that ZICB is not just a government-owned entity but a people-centered bank and ZICB Chief Executive Officer Ngenda Nyambe thanked the government for the investment and necessitating smooth operations. Mr. Nyambe expressed gratitude to former Investors Bank clients who have shown patience and are now able to access their money through ZICB. Choma District Commissioner Gamela Sikalea has expressed government's commitment towards eradicating of rabies disease through mass dog vaccinations and provision of anti-rabies doses to humans. Meanwhile, Choma District Acting Veterinary Officer Robina Maluza acknowledged that the department has intensified sensitization campaigns on the importance of dog vaccinations. We join Wakumelo Stali with the details.
For many years now, rabies has continued to be one of the major deadly diseases in the world. According to the World Health Organization, rabies causes over 59 human deaths annually, with 95% of the cases in Africa and Asia. This is attributed to the poor management of pets against the disease. However, the government reiterates commitment to eradicate the disease.
The government has put the fight against rabies as one of its top priorities and has made health care services free. The government has also endeavored to provide equitable access, cost-effective and quality health services as close to the family as possible. Efforts range from providing free dog vaccination services and availability of rabies vaccines doses for humans.
Veterinary officers are also carrying out sensitizations on the importance of vaccinating dogs against rabies.
We would like to encourage the community to have their dogs vaccinated against rabies. We start vaccinating dogs at the age of 3 months. Once they are vaccinated at 3 months, it's going to be valid for 6 months. Then after 6 months, you bring your dog, which will be vaccinated for 1 year. Thereafter, you continue vaccinating your dogs yearly.
The traditional medicine does not work with rabies. Rabies is a zoonotic which can send you to early grave within the period of 10 plus days.
Chief Macha wants his subjects to contribute to this fight. Wakmelo Stali, reporting for Zanis in Choma District, Southern Province.
In our education segment, the Secondary Schools Teachers Union of Zambia, SESTUS, in Northern Province, has applauded government for its commitment to improve the education system through teacher recruitment and other developments in the sector, as reflected in the recently presented national budget. Here is a report.
The introduction of the free education policy in 2022 has given an opportunity for many people to be in school regardless of their status in society. This has led to over-enrollment in schools. And to ensure quality education, the government has continued to recruit teachers to help reduce the teacher-pupil ratio. Government announced during the presentation of the budget that it will this year recruit 4,000 teachers, while an additional 2,000 will be employed in 2025. This has cheered Secondary School Teachers Union of Zambia, SESTU's Northern Provincial Secretary, Kashweka Simasiku.
It has always been a milestone for the New Dawn government. From the time they came into power, they have walked the talk when it comes to teacher recruitment. I think history has been made in this government that from the time immemorial, we have never had a government that has recruited so many teachers in a short period of time. So from the 8,000, we had the 7,500. Now this year we are talking about the 4,000 teachers that have been recruited. Even when you look at the budgetary allocation towards education, you can see that this government is so passionate about the education sector.
The union official appealed to government to consider upgrading already existing teachers.
I wish it can also be coupled with the other elephant in the room, that is the teacher upgrade. Slowly, over a period of time, we are going to sort out this issue. I know that it is a huge bill to upgrade all the teachers at once.
Zambia's education sector is flourishing due to sound policies such as free education and continued recruitment of teachers, among other developments in the sector. Helen Bolia reporting for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
Join us on environmental and infrastructure development news after this break.
Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back. We join Lakson Makoza on the weather update, where the Zambia Meteorological Department has forecasted a temporary drop in temperatures from October 2nd to 4th, 2024. According to the department, the drop in temperatures will be induced by a high-pressure system. During the forecasted period, the country will experience cloud cover and strong winds. Let's take a look at this report.
The Zambia Meteorological Department, ZMD, has forecast a temporary drop in temperature from the 2nd to the 4th of October 2024. The department has attributed the drop in temperature to the strong high-pressure system over the southern eastern coast of South Africa. The period under forecast will be characterized with high, strong, cool and moisture airflow over Zambia, resulting in partly cloudy weather conditions with an increase in winds.
We are going to have the system coming from over the southern part of Africa, where there is a sitting high-pressure system and deflecting moderate to strong winds that are going to bring lower clouds and medium clouds, especially in the morning, that are going to lower the temperature during the day. As you can see that on the 3rd, there will be more of the much of Zambia covered by this system with a lot of clouds, and you can see in some areas having precipitation like Mchinga and the eastern province there.
Meanwhile, over the weekend, temperatures are expected to start picking up.
As we go towards the 5th, that will be Saturday, there is a reduction just remaining in the northern part of the country. The southern part of the country is going to have cloud-free, and we expect temperatures also to start rising.
And ZMD has forecast rainfall activities in Choma, northwestern, and the northern part of the country.
Expect the rainfall over northwestern province, over the northern part of Wakula and the northern province, and some areas around Choma and surrounding areas are expected to have rain showers during the course of the day.
Members of the public have since been advised to avoid direct sun rays. For Weather News, I'm Lakson Makoza.
Still in environmental news, a youth organization in Mansa district is using school debate contests to raise awareness on the serious effects of climate change. Youth Connect Mansa Vice Chairperson Chabala Msonda says the debate contests are a vital tool for educating students about climate change in an engaging and enjoyable manner. Geoffrey Chikumbi brings us the report.
To raise awareness about the serious effects of climate change, a debate contest was held for selected primary and secondary school students in Mansa. This debate was organized by Youth Connect Mansa with support from Bloomberg Philanthropies and the Mansa Municipal Council through the Youth Climate Action Fund. The students debated different topics about climate change, including whether climate change education should start at a younger age to inspire future leaders.
Allow me to pass my sincere gratitude to the most important people in this house, but due to lack of time, I simply say or protocol be hardly observed. But as the first Prime Minister, it is my duty to define the key terms in this motion. Climate, no more the conditions of an area. Change, the difference in doing something. Education, the process of teaching learning.
It was exciting to watch Maureen Kafumbwe and her fellow opposers from Namwando Combined School passionately argue against this idea, along with students from Sowilo Christian School.
Members of the auditorium, additional time please. 30 seconds. May the good Samaritans please pass this to the judge as a present. Members of the auditorium, Mr. Chamber. Members of the House who are agreeing with us, a period of the chamber, prioritizing climate change education at their age might mean total less resources and time for the important challenge activities. Members of the House, important activities in education that at their age include reading, writing, and counting. Members of the House, who activities are very cardinal for the development of a learner. In addition, members of the House, there is a risk that early education of climate change could be perceived.
While the debate went well and winners were announced, some participants felt they didn't have enough time to prepare.
We never had enough time to practice and to know our points. Whilst the opposite team knew what they were talking about, they had this panel, they received this motion a long time ago.
Overall, the leaders of Youth Connect Mansa called the event a success.
It's one way of raising awareness out there. Yeah, it's really helping a lot because it's one way of communicating to other people about climate awareness and how to go about it, how to prevent the same climate change, how to adapt.
The focus area is more of mindset change, and hence we've seen a lot of sensitization that are being carried out by clubs. And one thing that is noticeable is that the innovative ideas are there, but since most of the clubs are implementing this for the first times, but at least we're able to see their commitment.
For Zanis TV, Godfrey Chikumbi reporting in Mansa.
In Northern Province, Lunte Town Council has allocated over 440,000 kwacha to construct Katalala Bridge using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund. Lunte Town Council Secretary Jonathan Mwanza disclosed that the bridge will connect Katalala area to the Central Business District. Mr. Mwanza told Zanis construction works are expected to be completed by the end of the month.
The council is also undertaking some works, and the road sector funding that we are receiving from the Ministry of Finance. And so far we are grading the 10-kilometer stretch of road. The first one that we have started undertaking is the road leading to Chongo Chivimbi Secondary School. And there along the road also we are undertaking a bridge, and we are constructing a bridge under the 2023 CDF funding, and we hope this bridge also is to be completed by October.
In other news, criminals in Mazabuka district have vandalized and stolen over 20 solar-powered street lights between Nakambala Bridge and Zambia compound. The solar lights installed by the Mazabuka Municipal Council in 2018 were meant to enhance security in the district. Meanwhile, Mazabuka Mayor Vincent Lilanda has given the Zambia police a 24-hour ultimatum to find and arrest the criminals. Kazela Hawanda has more in the following report.
Amid these long hours of load shedding, some dark streets in Mazabuka district were privileged to have solar-powered streetlights to offer security. But the measure meant for the good of the community has been vandalized by unknown individuals that have stolen solar panels and batteries along a stretch of 2 kilometers. The community is not happy with this.
This time, in the 10 hours, 21 hours, Balauma, Bafana, Wima Janko, company of Subaru. Whose government Naga Biguaya, Naga Lega Wiaga, winner freedom, Muro Day, that is freedom.
One of the eyewitnesses recounts what transpired when he met criminals in the act.
Otherwise, it can't get the way we did. Jaga jet, Yurike, Umani, Wonsa, Umarachi, me, but you are a Javion and the Amunti, Kama in the Kambata, the Mama, from Darabamba, with you and your Musorogo, a Tagu Mama guy. So, but you are a Javion in the Avantu, otherwise, to what we boom, because I'm the Sigatorabo,
The vandalized and stolen solar streetlights were installed by the Mazabuka Municipal Council in 2018. The mayor, Vincent Lilanda, wants criminals cornered within 24 hours.
Surprise, see what is happening now.
People have removed all the solar panels and battery, the whole stretch from the tarmac up to down there. Up, down there. They have vandalized everything. So our appeal also to the police, this time I think we have got about 3 vehicles. If you have heard, I mean, from the gentleman who was explaining, people spent time here removing the last panels here. They were even attacking the owner of this house. They were throwing stones. A car was parked there. So the problem has already started again. I'm told people have been attacked last week. People were beaten just here. Phones were grabbed day and night. So our police again, let us improve on patrols. So we are giving 24 hours to the community, to the police, to go on the ground and retrieve the solar panels.
On this same stretch is the Nakambala Urban Clinic, which leads to Zambia compound with a common criminal records. Kazala Wanda, Zanis, in Mazabuka district, Southern Province.
Chingola's first black mayor has commended government for the strides made in the restoration of the rule of law, peace and employment creation, which have improved in the livelihoods of people in the nation. Andaman Wembia, who served as first black mayor of Chingola from 1964 to 1968, said this during a public lecture organized in his honor by the National Events Committee under the District Administration of Chingola.
As Zambia commemorates her 60th independence anniversary, it's imperative to remember and honor the men and women that fought and participated in the struggle for independence from the colonial rule. The National Events Committee in Chingola has taken up a responsibility to appreciate and honor some of the freedom fighters and civic leaders based in Chingola whose contribution to Zambia's independence struggle cannot go unrecognized. The committee has since organized a public lecture in honor of the former freedom fighters and civic leaders in the district.
We want to appreciate the Women of Action Foundation that came to help us appreciate the elder people that fought for independence, and at the same time we had our former mayor, the first mayor, African mayor, who is celebrating his 92nd birthday, and was also giving a lecture on where Zambia has come from, the fight about independence. And then the Women of Action joined us to help us to appreciate other freedom fighters and eldermen.
92-year-old alderman Meselino Wembia was the first black mayor of Chingola, who is also a former freedom fighter. Mr. Wembia was elected mayor of Chingola on 18th September 1964 to 1968, and during the public lecture, Mr. Wembia and other freedom fighters shared their political experiences, the importance of independence and unity in the nation.
I was one of the mayors who attended that function in Lusaka. I led a delegation to Lusaka. And while we were in Lusaka, the flag of the British government was brought down and the Zambian flag was raised up. We were free from the yoke of imperialism. We were free people. We are now a free nation.
Indeed, as Zambia turns 60, the role of former civic leaders and freedom fighters towards Zambia's independence must be commended. Ian Chituchomba, reporting for Zanis in Chingola.
Still on the Copper Belt and finally on the news, Dola District Drivers Committee Vice Secretary General says the Mulungushi bus drivers have set up a promotion to reduce bus fares to 10 kwacha in 4 routes as part of a 60-year independence celebrations. Ndola District Drivers Vice Secretary General Pilas Kawele says the drivers at Mulungushi bus station have agreed to slash the prices down to 10 kwacha for Ndeke, Pamozi, Chifubu and Twapia routes within the district. Mr. Kawele said that the promotion will see a number of passengers boarding from the main bus station than on the streets, which has become a trend.
We are just informing our customers that we are having the actually it's the biggest promotion to the only 4 routes, and this promotion will start tomorrow. And when it will end, we will still come back and inform our customers. So the promotion that we are having for the all 4 routes, is going at 10 kwacha. We are having Ndeke route, which is number 1, Pamozi Kawama, number 2, Twapia, and Chifubu. These are the routes that we have reduces the fares.
Pamonga banamutekenya twaikala panshi nokumona amafya uwechalo chile kwatokupitamo solo twashirira nshanyi kuba tikanshi kuchitwawesesha kuba customer besu twabapira ku promotion bantu October ili kwata independence kabiri n'abantu nabo bakonfweko bwino so echalengere twaisala ndokubati twalabapira promotion ya 10 kwacha yo promotion ili fye kumulongoshi kutisokoneka kuli promotion lelo ili fye kumulongoshi.
As we end the news, a reminder of the top stories. Government to unveil expansion of Barrick mine. EU commits 20 million euros to Zambia. Zambia seeks Israeli labor agreements. And government commits to eradicating of rabies diseases. Well, it's on that note we end Zanis News. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, not forgetting Joas Shikombwe, who's been our sign language interpreter, I am Alice Panda saying goodbye and God bless you.